From an offensive standpoint, the Houston Rockets are arguably the most difficult team to watch this NBA season. Sure, their highest usage player, Jalen Green, has upped his scoring averages from his rookie year, but as a result, Green has taken hits to both his shooting and overall scoring efficiency. On the other hand, their second highest usage player, Kevin Porter Jr., has been putting up career highs in scoring and shooting percentages, but is also currently averaging the fourth most turnovers per game in the entire NBA. Despite being led by such a really talented young backcourt tandem, things haven't really come together to form a cohesive scoring structure for the team, as the Rockets currently have the worst offensive rating and the worst record in the entire NBA. But look a bit further down the team's offensive pecking order and you'll find second-year big man Alperen Sengun, who despite only being the team's third highest usage player, has arguably been displaying the most star potential among the Rockets' young core. Through 57 games this season, Sengun has been solid, averaging almost 15 points, more than 8 rebounds, and almost 4 assists in just 28 minutes per game. The raw numbers have been great, but so have been his shooting percentages, as Sengun is currently shooting 55.3% from the field, which is almost an 8-point increase from his field goal percentage as a rookie. Plus is also currently sporting a 60.3 true shooting percentage, which is also a 5-point increase from last season. These improvements have been direct results of Sengun incorporating more strength and power to his already advanced post-up game, but looking at it, even his modest 3.9 assists per game average is misleading, as at 20 years of age, Sengun is already one of the most creative and impressive playmakers in the entire NBA, who's been able to channel his inner Nikola Jokic with crazy no-look passes on a regular basis. So what's good everyone, it's Real Balls here, and in this video, we'll look into why Alperen Şengün just might be the future of the Houston Rockets. But before we continue, if you guys happen to enjoy this video, please do me a favor by hitting that like button. It only takes a second of your time, but it will be much appreciated. So let's get to it. In terms of analytics, nothing has been more telling of Alperen Şengün's value to the Houston Rockets than the estimated plus-minus or EPM rating, which metric is widely accepted in the NBA as the closest one in terms of capturing a player's true on-court impact. And this season, Şengün's plus 1.2 EPM rating not only leads the Houston Rockets, but also ranks in the 82nd percentile of the entire NBA. And for further context, Şengün is also the only player in Houston's roster to have an EPM value greater than +1, and other than him, the only other players to register a positive EPM value on the team are Kevin Porter Jr. and Tari Eason. Basically, this tells us that if the Rockets want to increase their chances of winning more games, they have to make Şengün more of a central piece of their offense. And I think it's not really that hard to visualize Şengün as this team's long-term offensive hub, considering that first and foremost, he is already a brilliant playmaker. Ever since he was a rookie, Şengün had already been flashing the classic traits of elite passers such as quick decision-making, excellent court vision, and precision passing. But what I actually find more impressive though is the fact that despite his usage having slightly dipped as compared to last season, Şengün has still managed to improve his assist rate this season to 22%, which is almost a 3% increase from his number as a rookie. Well, the thing is, whether it be in isolation or coming off pick and rolls, or whether it be from the low block or from the elbows, Şengün has continued to make the same risky, no-look, one-handed passes that shocked the NBA during his rookie season. But I think the difference is, now as a second-year player, it seems like he's just been more comfortable dishing out those passes while also incorporating them better into the flow of the offense, which is also supported by the numbers, as Şengün's current 16.8 turnover percentage is actually 2 percentage points down from last season. Just watch Şengün orchestrate plays for the Rockets and you'll simply find it hard not to buy into his potential as a long-term central playmaking hub for the team. Just like here, you can see Şengün recovering the loose ball against Kawhi Leonard. From there, he proceeds to read the floor while being trapped by the defense on the elbows. Right here, it looks like Şengün is looking to dish it out to the corners, but with the slightest hint of an open lane, he finds the right angle and makes the one-handed bounce pass to the cutting KJ Martin. Then here, you can see a side pick and roll action between Jalen Green and Şengün. Before he even goes for the short roll, Şengün already knows that the Lakers defense would collapse in the paint and he knows where his teammates are gonna be. So watch him break the double team with a wild bounce pass to the cutting Jabari Smith. However, problems still exist in the Rockets' offensive structure, and despite Sengun's elite passing ability to be a central offensive hub, a player must not only be able to thrive in an offense that's built for his skill set, but I think he must also be intentionally featured within that offense for him to be able to create plays for everyone else. And this is where I think the problem lies, as Sengun only ranks 3rd in the team in terms of touches per game behind KPJ and Jalen Green. Then also, in terms of time of possession, Sengun goes further down, only ranking 5th in the team. As presently constructed, the Rockets simply haven't been featuring Sengun enough as a focal point of their half-court offense. Particularly, I've been noticing that there have been a lot of instances wherein Sengun has been struggling to orchestrate meaningful plays because of lack of off-ball movement from his teammates. Just like here, Sengun is on the post, but he doesn't like what he's creating, so instead of forcing a shot, he picks the ball up and looks to pass to someone else. But then you can see his 4 other teammates not moving an inch from behind the arc, so Sengun is eventually forced to take a low percentage jumper before time runs out. It's no coincidence that the Rockets are only producing 1.16 points per possession out of cuts to the basket this season, which is the worst mark in the entire NBA. Further, the team also ranks dead last in terms of assist ratio, which I think isn't surprising at all, as it's always going to be extremely hard to create shots for others when your 2 highest usage players in Jalen Green and KPJ have been primarily score-first type of guys. So I think if the Rockets are to eventually realize that Sengun is the key to unlocking their offense, they must be willing to improve in terms of off-ball movement and cutting into space, which are all aspects that will help Sengun develop into the high-value playmaking big man that the team definitely envisions him to become. But of course, the reason Sengun is able to create plays for others is because of him already being a scoring threat, particularly from the low block, which in turn opens things up for the rest of his game. Well, the fact that Sengun's post-up frequency and post-up possessions per game both rank at least in the top 12 of the entire NBA this season is already quite telling. But it's also not just about the volume, as the .96 points per possession he's producing out of post-ups also ranks in the 68th percentile among all high-volume post-up players this season. The thing is, Sengun entered the NBA already equipped with an advanced post-up game, which is powered by his complex footwork, an arsenal of spins, fakes, and pivots, together with an ambidextrous soft touch. And by the looks of it, defenders are just simply overwhelmed when Sengun starts operating on the low block. Just like here, you can see Sengun with the full arsenal on the post. He starts backing Xavier Tillman down while constantly keeping the guy guessing where he's gonna go. Then once he's near the basket, Sengun goes to the right only to pivot to the left before he fakes his defender, goes back to the right, and finishes with his trademark semi-hook. Then here, watch Sengun do easy work against Zubats on the post. He starts with a quick drop step to the baseline, then you see the quick ball fake before he spins the other way and lays another easy hook right on top of the confused defender. Because of his effective post game, Sengun is starting to see an increased number of double teams when he's on the low block, and for sure, sooner or later, defenses would also start getting even more aggressive in terms of trying to keep him away from the paint. And while Sengun still doesn't have a consistent jumper, the good thing is he's starting to develop his own counter against more aggressive defenders in the form of his trademark push shot from within 10 to 14 feet of the basket. Here, you can see Sengun operating from behind the arc. He starts with a jab against Gobert before he decides to attack the driving lane. Gobert's size is a problem, but watch Sengun freeze him with a quick spin before draining the push shot from around 14 feet. Then here, coming off the pick and roll, Sengun takes his man right into the paint. Larry Nance Jr. sticks around, but watch Sengun hit the brakes as he loses his man before he eventually hits the open 10-foot shot. Overall, the numbers also display optimism about Sengun's future outlook as a productive mid-range scorer, as this season, almost 38% of his shot attempts have come from 10 to 14 feet of the basket, and he's actually converting a solid 51.6% of his attempts from that area. But with all of that said, for him to be a complete threat on the floor, the next step for Sengun is obviously upgrading his defense, particularly against pick and rolls and pick and pops. Currently, the Rockets have been using Sengun as a conservative drop defender, which I think makes sense, because although he doesn't have the quickest lateral footwork for a big man, Sengun still does have good recovery speed and advanced instincts as a rim protector. The problem is, because he's not really an elite vertical leaper, Sengun still struggles with fouling too often, as as he's still averaging almost 6 fouls per 100 possessions. Well, Sengun will obviously grow as a defender moving forward, but the continued improvement of Jabari Smith Jr. as a frontcourt help defender, or maybe Houston drafting an elite rim protector like Victor Wembanyama to play alongside Sengun should just make life easier for him on that end. However, I think what's actually ironic is that most people believe Wembanyama would hypothetically replace Sengun as the Rockets' long-term starting center if he's drafted by the team. But until that becomes a reality, the truth is, Alperen Şengün just keeps getting better, and at just 20 years of age, the offensive upside he's displaying is just really special. But most importantly, Şengün has just been continuously giving us a glimpse of the impending bright future for the Houston Rockets. So thank you guys if you've actually made it this far into the video, and feel free to drop your thoughts about Alperen Şengün on the comment section below, and again, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing as well. Again, this is Real Balls, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.